Hello, welcome back. We are coming off a reeling Game 5 in Toronto. The Warriors mustering up a 1-point victory, forcing Game 6. One more rodeo at Oracle Arena on Thursday. We are your ABC 10 sports team making the trip out to Oakland for the third time in this series. Sean Cunningham, Lina Washington. Follow us on Twitter if you're not already. Boy, this game looked like it was going to be Raptors pulling it out in the last 5 minutes, but the Warriors had other plans in the spirit of Kevin Durant.
Yeah, and he showed up and 11 points early. He gave them so much life, gave them another shooting option, and even just all the movements that he had, you kind of forgot that he was hurt. You know, I mean,
until 12 minutes.
Until 12, yeah. Until we get to the second quarter, and then it was just a disaster.
Yeah, and of course that's the same injury, or Bob Myers said it's a different injury to the same leg that he injured in that Game 5 in that Rockets series, making his first appearance back in the finals in a must-win situation. People are going to scrutinize this either way you slice it. If he didn't come back, if he came back and played awfully, if he came back and they lost, whatever happens, KD has been the subject of a lot of conversation. And Bob Myers, the GM, came out and addressed the media in a rare event. What was just your initial reaction hearing that he was going to be the one speaking on this?
I thought because we already knew that KD was going to have the MRI tomorrow, and you saw the way that calf kind of buckled during the injury. We were up in the booth, and I was talking to our executive producer, Adam, and I said, I don't know really what he can say unless he's revealing something pretty big.
Bad.
And he sure did, and he did it in a way that was very emotional. You don't see a lot of general managers react this way. There's a very human element. I think, especially with the way Bob Myers is, he's a former NBA sports agent. Before he became a general manager with the Warriors, he was representing players. So there is that attachment that exists a little bit differently than maybe most general managers when they come in. And to see KD go down, and we'll be able to hear from Bob Myers here in a second, I think it kind of speaks for itself. And eerily familiar to the game where KD originally went down against Houston. Somehow the Warriors were able to gut out a win. DeMarcus Cousins steps up. The Splash Brothers, Clay and Steph, step up, and they're able to gut out a 1-point victory in Toronto to bring it back to Oracle. Like you said, not dead yet. Oracle gets its last
Still
game.
alive.
And Klay Thompson, after the game, said, you know what, we feel that we owe our fans one more game at Oracle.
Well, they're going to get it. Kevin Durant will not be playing in that game, though. And as you will hear from General Manager Bob Myers, we are expecting to hear more about his injury, but this was his initial reaction after an emotional night for the Warriors in their locker room, seeing Kevin Durant go down. Here is Bob Myers. Take a listen.
Kevin had it's an Achilles injury. I don't know the extent of it. He'll have an MRI tomorrow. Prior to coming back, he went through 4 weeks with our medical team, and it was thorough, and it was experts and multiple MRIs and multiple doctors. And we felt good about the process. He was cleared to play tonight. That was a collaborative decision. I don't believe there's anybody to blame, but I understand this world. And if you have to, you can blame me. I run our basketball operations department. And let me tell you something about Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant loves to play basketball, and the people that questioned whether he wanted to get back to this team were wrong. And I'm not here to... He's one of the most misunderstood people. He's a good teammate. He's a good person. It's not fair. I'm lucky to know him. I don't know, I don't have all the information on what really, the extent of what it all means until we get an MRI. But the people that worked with him and cleared him are good people. They're good people.
Mark, first question in the front.
Bob, Mark, Medina Barry, News Group. With all due respect, what's your reasoning to point the finger at you?
'Cause I am the president of basketball. If you have to. I don't think there's anybody to blame, but I get it. That stuff happens. I hope nobody does. I don't think it should land on anybody, but if you feel like you need to,
Anything else? Ann in the middle.
Ann Killian, San Francisco Chronicle. Can you just talk about Kevin's emotions and how he is feeling right now?
you know, sports is it's people. Sports is people. I know Kevin takes a lot of hits sometimes, but he just wants to play basketball. And right now he can't. And basketball has gotten him through his life. So it means, I don't know that we can all understand how much it means to him. He just wants to play basketball with his teammates and compete.
Last question. Chris over here on the left.
Chris Haynes, Yahoo Sports. Bob, to your left, over in the corner right here. Initially, you guys diagnosed him with a calf injury. Was that the pure, full-out extent? Was it a calf injury? Now, what happened tonight equated to an Achilles injury?
Yeah, the initial injury was a calf injury. This is not a calf injury. I'm not a doc. I don't know how those are related or not. But it's a different injury.
So, of course, Bob Myers offering the human element and kind of throwing a little shade to people who said that maybe this isn't that much of a serious injury, or Kevin Durant doesn't want to be with the Warriors anymore. Right. He's thinking ahead of free agency. I mean, this guy left it literally all on the floor.
And he said, look, point the blame at me if you felt that he came back early. But I don't know that anyone's really going to do that. As you heard in that last question, Chris Haynes asked him the question, was the initial injury a calf injury, or all along did it affect the Achilles? And he said, no, it was total calf injury. This is a completely different injury, and we'll see what the extent is with that MRI. But yeah, you can't, look, if he's coming back and it's a little bit too early, maybe there's that argument. But it's not like he re-injured the same injury. This one is now in the Achilles. They're saying there was a separation there. Look, players want to play. Look at what Kevon Looney, let's not forget, Kevin Durant's not the only one that went down. Kevon Looney's been playing with I don't even know it all, but it's like a torn cartilage in his rib.
He's experiencing discomfort in the place where you are using your lungs and your vital organs are, and he is playing at a high level.
And he left and not to put him in, but he left the game and didn't come back. So what's his status for Game 6? We don't know yet. I mean, I would imagine it's up in the air. Klay Thompson said, no, playing in the finals is what we want to do. When he came back for Game 4 in Oracle and gave the Warriors that big boost. He said, my whole motivation is just playing in the finals and being a part of all this.
Of course.
It's his 5th straight finals, so some might say, oh, you've been here, done that. But no, look what they're trying to do. I think Bob Myers got caught up in the moment a little bit, but obviously that's tough to watch. And we'll see what they do. I know I'm talking to Henry Turner, who's joined us every week during all these games, and even a couple guys away from here who've said that, look, all the Warriors need to do is win this game. And then all of a sudden you've got home court going back.
It's 3-2.
It's 3-2, and you're going back Game 6. Even if you don't. Oh, hey, Kellen. There's just walk on there. All good. That was Kellen, everybody. But yeah, you win Game 6, and who knows? Then you have a Game 7 in the 6th, and if you're the Raptors, you don't want any part of that.
Oh no. But they should feel a little bit somewhat reassured, because this Warriors bench is like depleted. If you don't have, your starters, Andre Iguodala still playing, maybe a little hobbled. As we mentioned, Clay with a hamstring injury, Kevon Looney, and then Steph still taped up with the fingers.
Yep.
And God forbid anything else happens to any other player between now and Thursday, and then Game 7 in Toronto on Sunday, of course, right here on ABC 10. That's an earlier game, by the way. Tip-off would be at 5 o'clock for that one. But
if we get there, boy.
If we get there, but I mean,
and not to mention DeMarcus, who was DeMarcus Cousins was such a boost off the bench today. I don't know that he would have played had KD not gone down.
Sure.
It almost looked like they weren't going to go to him at all. And the minute KD goes down, they went to him, and I thought he responded brilliantly.
Yeah.
He was one of their best players. He obviously had a crucial turnover, a terrible offensive moving screen that could have cost him the game, and luckily didn't for the Warriors. But I thought Boogie was great, and luckily for them, because of how banged up they are, you don't have the day off and you play again. You're not playing again until Thursday, so you have some time to heal and recover. Obviously, you get the MRI with KD will take care of itself, but it's not like you're playing the very next day. So this could suit the Warriors pretty well in Game 6.
Yeah, and of course, as you all know, if you haven't been paying attention since 2016, only one team in the history of the NBA Finals has come back
Who was
to
that?
that guy, LeBron James, when he was in the East, the Cavaliers. They did it against that guy, Steph Curry, in the West, when they were up 3-1. And that was after the Warriors came back from a 3-1 series deficit against Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook and the Thunder. So a lot of storylines, a lot of things to pull from in NBA Finals history when you look at this series specifically. But again, that's a tough hill to climb, 3-1. But if you're going back to Oracle 3-2 and you're playing with that added motivation of your Finals MVP going down, leaving it all on the floor for you in front of your home crowd, Oracle Arena for one final time, anything could happen, really.
That's going to be incredible. And at least you know going in that this is the final game at Oracle Arena.
Yeah.
You didn't know that in these previous games. It could have been.
Well, the fans didn't know that in Game 4 when they were heading for the exits with 2 minutes left.
And it sure felt like it. And the other thing that was crazy about tonight, as we kind of go into Game 6, in the fourth quarter when the Raptors took the lead, that's the first lead change in this series in the fourth quarter.
Oh, really?
That's unbelievable.
In the fourth quarter,
is the first lead change. And the Raptors ended up taking their biggest lead at one point. And I was like, man, what Kawhi Leonard was doing at that point was incredible.
Yeah.
I thought the game was over. It was a Kawhi takeover. I thought the game was over right there.
Well, they had other plans, those Warriors. And I do want to mention, though, but their 2 wins, boy, have they been squeaked out in Toronto.
Yeah.
Granted, that is a statement to win on the road, but if you can't win at home on Thursday, obviously the series is over. But not good to drop those first 2 games at Oracle, and now your back is against the wall on the road.
Yeah. And we've
so.
talked about it all series long, which is we thought Nick Nurse was really out coaching Steve Kerr. Tonight, he's taking some heat and calling timeouts in the middle of their run where everything's snowballing downhill. You've got the Warriors kind of with their backs against the ropes, and he kills the momentum by calling a timeout because he doesn't want to lose those extra timeouts. It came back and bit him tonight. It definitely did. I wonder how that trickles in because I think that last possession that Toronto had, Kawhi gave the ball up. I don't think that's going to happen again if in a similar situation coming up in Game 6 or even 7.
Right.
And by the way, one of us has this going Raptors in 6. Not me.
I predicted Raptors in 6.
Lina's
so
looking like a genius right now.
I have one chance.
But how do you feel
get that
then?
right.
If you've made that, now it's going back to Oracle, how do you feel?
Well, I'm surprised that the Raptors did not win this game. That was a game that they lost. I mean, granted, the Warriors were in control for much of the game, but again, if you take a lead with 5 minutes left on your home floor in a clinching situation, you got to hold that. You got to hold on to that. You can't, you can't do silly shots, play hero ball, whatever it is. Just take it to the rack, get some points on the board, stop Steph Curry from touching the ball, and you should be good.
I think we can probably pencil in Aubrey to be sitting courtside for this one.
Well, if he is sitting courtside, I hope he's among our celebrity sightings that I'm sure we'll be reporting on live from Oracle Arena on Thursday because, of course, we are your home for the NBA Finals. And if you haven't seen our coverage from Games 3 and 4 in Oakland, we have a whole playlist for you on our YouTube channel. And we are excited for Game 6. Do you think the Warriors force Game 7?
Man.
Because you said Warriors in 6.
I said Warriors in
6 or 7.
Say 6.
Either way.
I think I said 6. I said Warriors, but I felt they'd win tonight. I was very confident that they would win tonight, and then all of a sudden I thought that they wouldn't, based off that run that Kawhi was doing. I don't know, man. I mean, sure, in front of Oracle,
not?
Here's one thing that gives me pause though is the Raptors have not lost at Oracle.
That's
even
correct.
even in the regular season they have not lost at Oracle. So now granted they only played the 2 games in the finals and then 1 game, so it's 3-0 on the home on the road in Oracle Arena, which is a hostile environment.
Right.
I think I got to think that the Warriors force a game 7 at that point.
Well,
I still don't pick them to. I mean, at this point, I would change it because I don't think that they can come back from that 3-1 deficit being as banged up as they are. And I still believe that, but because they won tonight and because you have the home floor and because you have a little bit of that momentum. Yeah, I can see them forcing a 7, but I don't like them in a game 7.
You think they'll force a game 7 to lose to the Raptors in Toronto?
I keep fluctuating, but that's the path I'm on right now.
That's
so what the hell do I know?
now. I'll stand pat with my Raptors in 6. I mean, they've won twice, like you said, in the postseason at Oracle, and they were pretty convincing. I mean, the Raptors seemed to take control in the second half of both of those games at Oracle Arena. It wasn't as tight as it's been in Toronto, so they got to be feeling pretty confident. Fred VanVleet's tooth is probably still over there waiting for him to come pick it up. It's
probably somewhere.
Put it in the Larry O'Brien trophy.
Crammed right under the basket there, or even wedged into the floor somehow. Someone stepped on it maybe, or maybe it could be on the bottom of someone's shoe.
Someone's walking around with Fred VanVleet's tooth. Molar, something. But yeah, we're excited for Game 6 coming to Oracle. One last rodeo in Oakland for the Warriors, playing without Kevin Durant, leaving it all on the floor with an Achilles injury. We will learn more about his health and, of course, keep you updated on the latest on the sports page at abc10.com. But in the meantime, follow us on Twitter and Instagram if you haven't already. Sean Cunningham on Twitter, Sean.Cunningham on Instagram, L Washington TV on all platforms. We will see you back here on Thursday. Tip-off Game 6 from Oracle Arena at 6 o'clock right here on ABC 10.